All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something you and I do every single day, often without even thinking about it: learning. But have you ever stopped to wonder what's actually going on inside your head when you pick up a new skill? Well, we're about to pull back the curtain on the biological blueprint that allows your brain to physically change, to literally rewire itself with every single experience. Let's get into it.
You know that old saying, right? Practice makes perfect. It turns out that's not just some nice motivational quote your coach used to yell. It is a literal description of what is happening inside your brain. There's no magic to it. It's pure, incredible biology.
So, to really get a grip on how practice works, we have to get one thing straight about learning and memory. They aren't these two separate jobs your brain is doing. No, they are completely 100% intertwined. Think of it like this. Learning is the act of taking in new information. Memory? That's the proof that the information actually stuck around. You can't really have one without the other. I mean, if you can't remember something, did you ever truly learn it in the first place? They're two sides of the same coin. Memory is the physical footprint that learning leaves behind in your brain. Okay, so if learning leaves a physical footprint, how does the brain actually make it? This brings us to one of the most amazing discoveries in all of neuroscience: the fact that your brain is not a fixed, hardwired machine. It's constantly, physically changing. That's right. Your brain is not static. It's more like a living city, where the roads and buildings are constantly being remodeled based on the traffic. And that traffic is your life experiences. From the day you're born, everything you do is physically shaping the connections inside your head. And of course, scientists have a name for this incredible ability: synaptic plasticity. This, right here, is the absolute heart of our topic today. It all happens at the synapse, that tiny, tiny gap where two neurons pass messages to each other. The fact that this connection can get stronger or weaker based on what you do, well, that's the biological engine that drives all learning and memory. But wait a minute, how does the brain know which connections to make stronger and which to let go? It turns out it follows this surprisingly simple and frankly beautiful rule, a rule that changed everything we thought we knew about the brain. So, picture this. It's 1949. A Canadian psychologist named Donald Hebb comes up with this big idea. He didn't have the fancy brain scanners we have today to prove it, but he had this incredible intuition about how our experiences must be carving pathways in our minds. And this is his famous rule. It's so simple. Neurons that fire together wire together. Basically, when one brain cell consistently helps to activate another one, the connection between them gets stronger, faster, and more reliable. They form a team. This one idea is the key to understanding how practicing something over and over literally builds and strengthens the brain circuits for that skill. But here's a really crucial detail. It's not just about strengthening connections. For your brain to work efficiently, it also needs to do a little spring cleaning. It has to clear out the connections that aren't useful anymore. So this whole plasticity thing is a two-way street. It builds up and it tears down. These two processes are called long-term potentiation, or LTP, and long-term depression, or LTD. The easiest way to think about it is like a volume dial on every connection in your brain. LTP, that's when you use a pathway a lot and the brain turns the volume up. LTD is when you neglect a pathway and the brain turns the volume down. One helps you remember, the other helps you forget what you don't need. Now, this strengthening and weakening isn't just some abstract idea. It leads to actual physical changes in your brain's wiring. A great way to think about it is to picture your brain as this dense, overgrown garden that's constantly being tended to. This brain gardening happens in three main ways. First, you've got sprouting, where your neurons grow brand new branches to connect with others. Then there's rerouting, which is like creating a new shortcut to get around a slow old path. And finally, you have pruning. And yet, this is that long-term depression in action. The brain actively snips away weak or unused connections. Just like a gardener prunes a rose bush to make it stronger, your brain prunes itself to become faster and more efficient. Let's make this even more concrete. Forget the garden for a second. Imagine a huge open field covered in tall grass.
There are no paths. Learning something new is like taking that very first difficult step across the field.
Now, if you only walk that route once, the grass just springs right back up, right? But what if you walk it every day? And then your friends start using it too. Pretty soon, you wear a visible path into the dirt. The more people use it, the deeper and wider and easier it gets to follow. This is precisely what is happening between your neurons. The foot traffic, that's you practicing. The path getting clearer and deeper, that is long-term potentiation, physically strengthening the synaptic connection, making that thought or skill so much easier to access the next time around. So let's pull all of this together. We've got synaptic plasticity, LTP and LTD, sprouting and pruning. What does it all mean for you and me in our day-to-day lives? Well, it all boils down to a very simple and very powerful principle. So here's the bottom line. Your brain is a ruthlessly efficient machine that is constantly optimizing itself based on what you do. The connections you use frequently get stronger and are kept, and the ones you don't, they weaken, and eventually they get pruned away. It is the literal definition of use it or lose it.
This means that when you're getting better at playing the guitar, or learning a new language, or even just mastering a video game, you are not just improving in some vague, abstract sense. No, you are physically changing the structure of your brain. Each repetition carves those neural pathways a little deeper, making that skill more automatic, more efficient, more you. Practice doesn't just make perfect. Practice makes permanent.
And that leaves us with one last kind of mind-blowing thought. If every action you take, every skill you practice, every idea you focus on is actively sculpting the physical thing that is your brain, it really makes you think, doesn't it? The real question isn't just how your brain learns, but what are you teaching it to become? What paths are you building today? Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.